Alive in Nigerian Christians in Nigeria. It's a damn shame. It really, really is. You should be able to worship whoever you want to worship, whatever deity it is that you choose, you know? Let's see if we get some people in the room. Just give it a couple of more minutes. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. It's still raining here in Detroit. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Nigeria has one of the largest Christian populations in Africa, with an estimated 90 to 100 million, making up roughly 43% to 50% of the country's population. The population is largely split, with Christians predominantly in the southern and central regions and Muslims in the north. Nigeria hosts a diverse Christian community ranging from Anglo-Saxon and Catholic to a rapidly growing Pentecostal and evangelical movement. Over 50% of Nigerian Christians are estimated to be Pentecostal, charismatic, or evangelical. Hey Benedict, hey, how you doing? Hold on a moment. I'm live. I'll call you back. Nigeria is frequently ranked as one of the most violent places in the world for Christians. Attacks are carried out by extremist groups like Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province known as ISWAP, as well as radicalized Fulani herdsmen in the Middle Belt. Christians have faced church burnings, kidnappings, and killings. According to some support, thousands of Christians have been killed for their faith and millions have been displaced. While many reports frame the violence as religious persecution, some analysts argue it's a mix of extremist ideologically, ethnic conflicts, and disputes over land and resources. The Nigerian government has faced criticism for failing to provide adequate protection for the Christians, and they have done little to prosecute the perpetrators. And that's why Trump went in there and dropped the bomb on their ass. Mm. Government officials have sometimes contested the narrative of targeted Christian genocide, stating the violence affects both Muslims and Christians and is often driven by criminal gangs. The U.S. government has raised concerns regarding the treatment of Christians in Nigeria, with some officials designating it a country of particular concern due to religious freedom. And it is. Nigerian army rescued 31 held at gunpoint after Easter church attack. 31 civilians held hostage following a Sunday morning church attack in northwest Nigeria have been rescued. 5 others were killed as gunmen targeted Easter celebrations at a church in Iroko, according to a statement from security forces. A local church official had early put the number of dead at 7. The army said soldiers engaged in attackers in a fierce firefight, forcing them to flee and leave the hostages and bodies of the dead victims behind. Attacks and kidnappings for ransom are common occurrence in northern Nigeria as the country grapples with security threats from jihadist groups and armed gangs. Although the army said it responded swiftly to Sunday's attack, local media report that residents said the gunman operated for a long time without facing resistance. As a result of the firefight, officials said the fleeing terrorists had significant casualties as evidenced by blood trails along their escape route. Troops had also been deployed to hunt the insurgents and reinforce security. In a separate incident, Nigeria's military killed 65 bandits following an offensive in Zamfara state. They reported on Sunday, days after a large group of bandits abducted residents from villages in the state. Hey, Jessica, how you doing, love? Police had on Saturday confirmed that there had been a mass abduction in villages in the state earlier in the week, and a manhunt had been launched. That's why Trump bombed y'all ass. Dozens killed in Easter attacks across Nigeria. Pray for peace, prosperity of Nigeria. Senator Bohara Adafat has urged Christians to take advantage of the Easter season to pray for peace, unity, and prosperity of Nigeria. He emphasized the need for stability as the country approaches the 2027 general elections. Hey, Benedict. So let's get on to some video. Here we go. Now, this how Trump responded the last attacks, and this is what it looked like. We going back. Oh shoot. Dang, it was taken down. There were no ISIS in Nigeria. Yeah, the new reporting has come in that the locals have no fucking clue why they would attack that area because there's been zero ISIS activity. Because this is just a manufactured war, again, for resources, because they have the 10th largest oil reserve in the world. Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world. That's bullshit. And Nigeria. And so he's saying that these attacks aren't true. That's a lie. They are true. So, how do Nigerians feel about the U.S. military carrying out strikes in their country? Our reporters took to the streets of Abuja and Lagos to find out. Thank you, Trump, for the pressure. Thank you, Trump, for the strike on the terrorists. And we hope the Nigerian government will take up the mantle now. My fear now is that there's going to be a very big revenge from these terrorists because of what has happened. It's a very old idea, and I welcome it very well because this insecurity has taken us backwards, so many miles backward. So we need those people, we need America to come and support us so that at least let there be peace in Nigeria. So we want our leaders to wake up. If they are sleeping, let them wake up. Please let them put action on this kind of thing that happened yesterday. Because once we allow them to come into this country, a lot of things are going to happen. All those things that are happening are really true. So what America is doing, I think, is best for it to happen that way. It's for our own good. So, how do Nigerians feel about the U.S. military carrying out strikes in their country? Nigerians was happy about what Trump did, but now we too busy over in Iran, so he can't deal with that. This is, and then I'm gonna get to the new footage. The persecution of Christians or members of any religion cannot and must not be tolerated. And Muslim militant displacement and attacks against Christians in Nigeria, that too must end. And it must end now. I'm sending Israel's Christmas blessings to our Christian friends around the world, and I ask you, know that Israel will always stand with you. This is definitely prophetic. Israel is standing for Christians amid this whole Christian persecution. You know, the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 12, verse 3, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you, and all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Now, this is talking about God defending the descendants of Abraham, and we understand that, biblically speaking, in Galatians, that we are sons of Abraham by faith. I believe in Galatians chapter 3, verse 7. So it's the Lord that is defending Christians right now. It is the Lord that is defending Israel. So when you pray for the descendants of Abraham, Israel, when you pray for Christians, God will prosper you. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 122, verse 6, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you. Right? That's the descendants of Abraham, but also involves us as well. We have been engrafted in. 130 students and 12 teachers from a Catholic school in Nigeria were held captive for a month and they were finally released.
In total, 130 students and 12 teachers were set free on Wednesday after more than a month in captivity. Now, in a statement, U.S. African Command did say the strike killed multiple members of ISIS, but didn't share numbers or any more specific details on the military logistics. President Trump does warn there will be more strikes on terrorists in Nigeria if the targeting of Christians continues. These strikes happening just days after the return of more than 100 children and teachers who were abducted from a Catholic school in Nigeria just before Thanksgiving. In total, 130 students and 12 teachers were set free on Wednesday after more than a month in captivity.
Wow.
U.S. African Command.
Now, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, shoot.
Let me be aware that Nigeria is not Vietnam. Telling Nigeria is not Afghanistan. Exactly. Nigeria is not Iraq. Nigeria is not Iraq. Nigeria is not Venezuela. No. If you attempt to encourage like aggression and send your armed forces to Nigeria to wage war, it's an ethical process. But remember that our mosquitoes, they are waiting for your soldiers to bite them and infect them with malaria fever to die instantly. Let you be aware.
You can't make that up.
It's not Vietnam.
So you gonna send the mosquitoes.
Matrix update, and this is going to be about Anthony Joshua.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to do that. That's gonna be something else. Yep, yep. Let me see, what is this?
So you know how Trump bombed Nigeria on Christmas Day? Yeah, if you didn't know that, Trump bombed Nigeria on Christmas Day, claiming that ISIS was there. Nigeria just came out and said that we didn't even know we had ISIS here. What did he? I need to clear up something, or at least speak my mind as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, because the gaslighting is too much. I don't see this energy when Christians are being slaughtered and killed on a daily basis in this country. First off, can you guys stop the car? It was on the Islamic terrorists, the bandits, and the ISIS. For years, We've been enduring this group kidnapping the people, attacking the church, and raping our young girls. This isn't about resources, it's about safety.
For over a decade, Nigeria has been battling violent Islamic terrorist groups, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and allied networks. This group have slaughtered civilians, burned villages, kidnapped children, and destabilized the entire region. Sokoto wasn't randomly hit. Sokoto has long been identified as a strategic hub. A lot of operations, logistics, and coordination for extremist elements in that area. Obviously, this is not about oil, this isn't about religion, this is about terrorist infrastructure that Nigeria's own government has failed to dismantle effectively for years. When government keep on negotiating with terrorists instead of dismantling them, violence doesn't stop. And when innocent lives keep being lost, intervention becomes inevitable. You cannot keep pretending this is politics or propaganda. Nigeria cannot continue to live in that way. Terrorism doesn't need hashtag. It needs to be confronted, exposed, and eliminated. The violence in Nigeria was long overdue for an intervention.
So you know how Trump bombed Nigeria on Christmas Day? Yeah, if he did.
All right, I already did Offset being shot.
The largest oil producer in the world? Many will imagine that it would be Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, right?
But the largest oil producer in the world is the United States.
And the United States now, so as not to be at any
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this must be a deleted video.
is the United States.
Yeah, it's deleted. Okay, let me just delete that. My bad, y'all.
See this man break down how the Muslims in Nigeria looked away in Christian communities until it was time to strike. That was the moment when they started to become a majority. Watch this. What is playing out in Nigeria right now could be what would play out in America 30 years from now. To acknowledge how Islam has conquered every nation it's touched, it hasn't been by voluntary conversion, it has been done by the sword. It is not in their religion to assimilate to a culture or area that you move into. You are commanded to dominate that culture and make everybody submit to you. So for people to say, there's a mosque going up in my backyard, let's celebrate it. No. That is a sign of them conquering your territory. That is how they feel. If they have a minority population, they have to be nice, play nice and quiet. Once they reach that threshold, the political threshold, is when the violence. I get the same story from survivors in Nigeria. They say the fun movement, our kids played together, we did business together, everything was fine until one day where even their neighbors were so attacks. And it's scholars treat the Christian like a pet shop. Raise chickens, feed the chicken, take the chicken, love the chicken until it's time to come. How did that happen?
Wow.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And there are other countries where it banned also. You know that. We're a banned to killing the Christians and killing them. We're in large numbers. We're not going to let that happen. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria.
And they was begging for Trump to come and help them.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Give us this day
Trump to the rescue.
forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven.
Yep, and he did that.
If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. And again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are the Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this? No one's talking about it, and they should be. You can't read about it on mainstream media. It's sad, so thank you for bringing it up. The Jews aren't involved. That's why. If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria,
you've been under a rock if you don't know what's going on. The killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria anywhere must end immediately. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either the Nigerian government protects Christians or we will kill the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. That was from Pete Hessel when they struck Nigeria on Christmas Day. It's not coming on?
I was told this last week. There is a group of Nigerian legislators coming to Washington this week trying to petition the Trump administration and Congress from designating your country as a one of particular concern. They don't want this, but they're doing nothing to protect the Christian population there and to stop these radical Islamic groups from just laying waste to people on the other side of the religious divide from them. But I've spoken to Christian leaders there for decades. They will tell you they are very much afeared that Nigeria is going to turn into an Egypt and Constantinople became, which remember was a majority Christian country. And over time, you had an Islamic destruction of the faith. And that's what's happening in Nigeria in real time. We've got to do something here. Sanctions. What's remarkable, I couldn't agree with you more. What's remarkable is despite this persecution, the number of conversions in the faith of the African church is something that's so inspirational. As I was told this last week, there is a to the outside performing prayer every day. And they expect us to silence now. Is another. Nigerian government came out openly and denied there's no massacre, there's no genocide of Christians in Nigeria. And look at it today. Is there any Muslim? United Nations, I know you're watching me. American Senate, you are watching what I'm doing. I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump. Now, please take Trump to save our life in Nigeria. They are killing Christians in Nigeria. Massacred Christians. If they say they kill Muslims, these Muslims are being killed. By who? By Muslims. To the outside performing prayer every day. And they expect us to silence now. Is another. Nigerian government cannot openly. Country of origin is your.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, shoot. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Than any other countries around the world combined.
This is value entertainment.
Just this year, 7,087 Christians have been killed in many instances this year just for going to church. Today we're going to talk about the events that are taking place in Nigeria targeted towards Christians. This video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. So watch this. If you're watching this, and we know mainstream media is not going to be talking about this a lot with other people. You want to get more exposure to it, share it with other people. Let me tell you why. Since 2009 till today, 125,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria, according to the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law. By the way, when you're looking at the surge, 7,087 just this year in the first 220 days. That's 35 a day. 7,800 abducted. They disappeared. Can't find them anymore. 19,100 churches have been destroyed. Imagine going to church. Imagine on Sunday, just don't take your kids to church. All you want to do is go pray. Maybe sing a little bit, worship music, listen to the pastor, the preacher, what they have to say, the priest. 19,100 churches have been destroyed. By the way, 10,000 schools have been destroyed that are teaching Christian theology to kids. Certain values that they have. And in Nigeria, specific areas are being targeted. Now, who is doing the targeting to these Christian
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Catholic churches? Many of these guys that are jihadists, one of the leaders being Boko Haram since 2009, later splintering into ISIS West Africa province, the ISWAP and Ansaru, conducting mass killing, forcing conversions, and abductions. And you're seeing this in the news. I want to put a picture here for you to see on what's going on. This is what they look like. They're just going around targeting Christians, burning homes, seizing land, destroying harvest, sexual violence. And the way they're going about doing it is they're going out at night when you're asleep, night assaults on villages, church seizures and burnings, mass kidnapping, land grab, creating no-go zones for Christian natives. And families are sitting there saying, well, what do I do? I just want to go to church. I can't. You saw service with everything that's going on. I mean, we get the challenge with our faith a lot of times. How strong is our faith? Is our faith as strong as this guy? They're still in church. They're still there praying. They're still singing to worship music, even though all this stuff's going on. You hear guys talking about, they kill my family. They kill my parents. They burn my house down. They burn my relative's house down. They burn my kid's house down. All I have left is this shirt I'm wearing. Here's what the fellow was talking about. I want you to watch these two clips. One of them is them still going to church on a Sunday, and one of them talking about what happened to him and his family.
My family members, they died in this house. 11. And some died in the other store. Here and up my house up here. That place also is gone. And the store where I pack my goods, I store my goods everywhere at home. They own my clothes, they own everything, they own our food, all my family members, what we kept.
The criticism that a lot of mainstream media gets is, what's the purpose of me showing this? It's just Christians. I mean, it's just Christians, but we have to show anything else to raise the temperature and make sure people are angry and go out there protesting. Free Palestine. That's what we need. We need rage. Christians, give me a break. You know, if you're going to go out there and kill 49 Christians in Democratic Republic of Congo that were killed by machetes, not a big story, right? We shouldn't share this if we're mainstream media. Some victims were beheaded and burned, but I mean, we don't need to really talk about it a lot because it's just Christians. We need to really get into the story and to hear stories that's going on in Canada. Here, Justin Trudeau, 112 churches burned in Canada, Catholic churches, and Justin Trudeau, former Prime Minister, gets up and says, well, I understand their rage. I mean, you have to watch this to believe what the former leader of Canada had to say about all the church burnings that was going on in Canada. Here's Justin Trudeau for you.
Okay, that's Canada. We're going to get...
Well, there's an example of a guy that wasn't tolerant towards Jesus. This concept of being... We definitely will, when you're sitting and looking at the countries...
I couldn't understand a thing he said. Okay, now. This is today.
Just murdered over 10 innocent Christians on Palm Sunday. Tanuba, where are you? As your people are slaughtered in the night, as you sit in Aso Rock and you do absolutely nothing, you allow your people to be killed again and again and again and again. When will it stop? When will you hear the cries of Nigerians, of Christians? You can no longer deny genocide. They're being slaughtered. And you say there's no issue. You will regret what you are doing. You just murdered over 10.
This is...
Watch this video with me.
This is what they doing to Christians in Nigeria.
Watch this video with me. Rounded down churches. Watch this video with me.
Man. It's a doggone shame.
Happy Easter, everybody. This video you see is a detail of a Nigerian church. Where on this Easter Sunday, the church was attacked.
This is Easter Sunday.
In fact, there are about 4 locations right now in Nigeria. I've said Kaduna, somewhere in Jos, somewhere in Benue State, and somewhere in Nasarawa State. 4 different communities. They attacked them in their Easter celebration in the church. And you can see this church nice. And you can see this church nice ends. There are some bad images of the event that happened today. The worst part of it is that before the Easter Sunday today, there's threats outside that this will happen. And it is a serious walking consciousness. It should have been identified and high on my lands, but just left edge. This is the consequence of it. More like on today being Easter, why people are celebrating their parent people. This is Nigeria.
You put your information on that computer too?
Why don't you set it back to factory settings? That'll wipe out everything. Yes.
You did it on both?
They being driven out.
All those people left behind. Those people now, maybe they don't even know what's going on yet.
So the Christians, they being driven out.
Why? There is problem in this country. Yeah, overload said, all of them. Where are they? They don't even know. Most of them, they don't have shelter again.
That's a damn shame.
The worst part is, in all this is, the video of the people, they uploaded it. I have footage of my parents speak. I don't think you understand what's really happening in Nigeria. My dad was a pastor for a church up there, and what happened was the men, you know what they ended up doing to the females? The females and their bodies. I have footage of my mom set like that. I can't close my eye to pray. To close my eye, I can't close my eyes to pray, man.
They beheaded his mother.
I promise you, you are not being Islamophobic if you take Prophet Muhammad and his followers seriously. When Muhammad said, I will expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any but Muslim, what did you think that would look like? You didn't think that would stop at the Arabian Peninsula, did you? When Muhammad made it clear that your blood...
You can't reset it to factory settings.
It's running like it's in 1988. Look how many. Look at this.
Don't be so
This
naive.
shit slow as hell.
Don't let them
And it's a
censor
brand new
you.
computer.
Our silence, especially as Christians, is leading our brothers and sisters to slaughter. Speak up. Nigerian Christians alone accounted for about 72% of Christians who were killed worldwide for their faith in 2025. This year is no different. Ibrahim here lost his parents, uncle, and best friend. 4 people out of hundreds who have already lost their lives this year in 2026. Pray that the Lord brings comfort to our family in Nigeria. Pray that they have strength to pray. Pray that they are reminded not to fear those who can only destroy their body,
Wow.
but to fear him who has authority over their body.
I want to move to Nigeria, so that's where you are. Dozens of Christians were killed yesterday in Palm Sunday, slaughtered. Can you take us through what is going on in Nigeria right now? And this is a story that the rest of the world, particularly the West, refuses to cover. Go ahead. Yeah, that's the truth. It's actually completely disgusting what is happening in Nigeria. And it's not just in one single place. It's not just in one state. It's literally every state across Nigeria. There's people that are innocent that are being slaughtered. And just last night, literally 2 or 3 miles from where I am, they came on motorbikes and in a car, AK-47s, machetes, started killing everybody, shooting everybody in a junction that one of my partners lives at. It could have been my very partner who was killed that night. He's the one who called me as soon as the attack happened and said, hey, there's an attack happening right now where we live. And so I called my driver and said, we have to go. We have to go see what is happening. And when I got there were 10 people that were killed. Blood everywhere, all over the street. I mean, I still have blood on my boots. And by the morning when I woke up, the death toll had tripled. Now it's been 31 people killed, 27 people still in the hospital. I want to move to Nigeria, so that's where you are. Dozens of
They messed with the people of God, and President Trump just said that the Pentagon should prepare for a possible intervention in Nigeria. Despite being warned, they continued killing Christians, and the president said he he would not allow this. And the Department of Defense is publishing this video dedicating it exactly to Nigeria. All this thanks to pastors who don't rest. And today something terrible happened. And they started asking for help on social media. And there's something you don't know. Special forces are publishing these kinds of images and are asking as if they were thirsty for them to be allowed to go defend these people. And indeed, President Trump said that a ground intervention was also possible because they said it by air. These extremist Islamist terrorists, accustomed to negotiating, thought that this time the United States would give in. And I repeat again, special forces are asking to be allowed to go. And those guys are fierce dogs. Of course, with the criticisms from the usual suspects who say no, no, and no. But for Ukraine, they sent and sent and sent, and then they didn't say anything. But this time, since it's the people of God, it's Christian people, it's people nobody talks about, nothing happens, so they don't want them to do anything. The rulers of Nigeria responded, no, that's a lie, and now they don't know what to do because they messed with the wrong people. They messed with the people of God and
Yep. Everybody around the world call on Trump, but the American people treat him like shit. So they forcing this Christian man to put on a Donald Trump hat and they torture him. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. God, you gotta do something. These are your people.
On average, Christians are killed a day in Nigeria by Islamic extremist groups. They've killed over 100,000 since 2000, and they've burned 18,000 churches. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. We met at the White House to discuss what the president and the executive branch can do on the international front. And we said, Nigeria, put it back on the CPC, countries of particular concern list. And so on Wednesday, Matt Ryan, President Trump sent the message out that Nigeria would be added to the countries of particular concern list. And a few days later wrote that if Nigeria doesn't get it together, we're going to get it together for them to protect these Christians. The ACLJ is now fighting at the UN to stop this massacre, but we need your voice. Join us and demand world leaders protect Nigerian Christians by signing our petition today at aclj.org/Nigeria. On average, Christians are killed a day.
I'm fleeing. Wow.
Girl, buddy, you gonna fucking watch.
40 Christians killed on Palm Sunday in Nigeria. The government is yet to make a formal address. They're currently campaigning for second term and turning a blind eye to the religious insecurity going on in Nigeria, the religious genocide. 40 Christians, not killed by Hindus, Not killed by Buddhists, not killed by other Christians, killed by Muslims, by Islamic terrorists. I'm not going to call them Islamic extremists. I'm going to call them Islamic terrorists. Mothers crying, watching their children die in their arms. Children watching their parents die. That's a massacre. So this is a genocide. This is a Christian genocide. For how long? Lord have mercy. 40 Christians killed on Palm Sunday.
And this just happened. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button. Good night.